Buenas tardes, me llamo Felix, yo soy 13 años, vengo aquí desde Alemania, but I will continue in English because my English is much better than my Spanish. Dear Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making a conference about our future. Thank you for caring about our future. Here in Spain, hundreds of thousands of youth are on the street because they don't see any future. In the Arabic world, millions of children and youth are on the street because they don't see any future due to the dictators. In conferences like at the climate conference in Cancun in Mexico last year, many representatives of the youth were wearing a t-shirt which said, "You're discussing longer than I am old. Don't tell me you need more time." And many of them told me that they won't come to the next climate conference at the end of this year in Durban because they have no more hope. They have no more hope for their future. And since I was a small boy, I met thousands of children. I met thousands of children at different conferences worldwide. And I spoke to many of these children, and all of them tell me they're scared and they're worried about their future. A friend from the US once told me, the adults always say, we children are the future. But if there is no future, what is left for us? We children understand that the adults know the problems which we have. 40 years ago, the Club of Rome published the report Limits of Growth. And at that time, the adults already knew the problems we have. And the adults know the solutions to these problems. So we children don't understand why there is so little action. And we often discussed about this topic. And we ended with 3 possible reasons why there is so little action. The first reason is the perception of future. For most adults, future seems to mean 20, 30, or even 40 years. But for many of us children, 2100 is still in our lifetime. So it's an academic question for the adults if the sea level will rise by 1, 2, or 3 centimeters or 7 meters by the end of this century. But for many of us children, it's a question of survival. The second possible reason why there is so little action is that many adults seem to hide behind the climate skeptics, the ones that say there is no climate crisis. For all these, we have an answer. If we follow the climate scientists now, the ones that say there is a climate crisis, and we act, and in 20 years we find out that they were wrong, then we didn't make any mistake. But if we follow the climate skeptics, the ones that say there is no climate crisis, and in 20 years we find out that they were wrong, then it will be too late to save our future. The third reason why there might be so little action is the example of the monkeys. If you let a monkey choose if he wants 1 banana now or 6 bananas later, the monkey will always choose the 1 banana now. And if many adults think like these monkeys, then we children have a huge problem. We children understood that we have to take our future in our own hands. And to do this, we children asked ourselves, what would we do if we were the heads of governments of this world? And we ended with a 3-point plan how we would save our future. The first point is that until 2050, we have to go down to zero emissions. And the great thing about this point is that all technology which we need for zero emissions already exists today. The second point is that until 2050, we only have a limited amount of CO2 which we can exhaust left. The scientists say this is about 600 billion tons. Now, 600 billion tons divided up through the next 40 years until 2050 is 15 billion tons a year. And now we, as humanity, have to decide how we will spread this amount throughout the world's population. And for us children, there's only one possibility. Everyone becomes the same. And as we soon will be 10 billion people, this would be 1.5 tons per person per year. And if someone wants more, they have to pay to the ones that exhaust less. And the third point is that we have to plant trees. We have to plant 1 trillion trees. That's a number with 13 digits. If we plant 1 trillion trees, these trees will absorb 10 billion tons of CO2 every year. So in addition to the 15 billion tons which we have per year, we will have another 10 billion tons. This is like a gigantic time joker that we've got a bit more time until we have to be down at the zero emissions. Now, 1 trillion trees sounds like a huge amount, but we have enough space for these amount of trees without being in competition with farming, etc. And if every person on this planet plants 15 trees a year for the next 10 years, then we would be able to plant these trillion trees. The Americans managed it to the moon in 10 years. The Chinese planted 2.7 billion trees in 2009. So if they continue that way, only China alone will reach 100 billion trees until 2050. So it is possible we can plant 1 trillion trees. But what do we children do to implement this 3-point plan to spread this idea? The first thing what we do is plant trees. We are already hundreds of thousands of children worldwide participating in over 100 countries, planting as many trees as we can. We've already planted several million trees. And furthermore, we children educate other children that they can participate. We are organizing one-day workshops to empower other children. We call these academies. We tell the other children why we are planting trees, why we have to act, and we tell them what everyone can do, how they can participate, how they can organize planting parties, etc. We've already had 90 academies with over 4,000 children that have participated at these academies in 12 different countries already. And we want to have 1 million children educated at these academies in the next 10 years. This would mean 20,000 academies. Furthermore, we children thought we had to bring this 3-point plan to the heads of governments of the world. And 1 year ago, we sent a letter with a 3-point plan to all heads of governments, asking them how they are planning to save our future. And we expected at least half of them to answer. But we only got 11 answers. We were shocked by that result and decided that when we are 18, we children will form the first global political party, a political party in each country of the world which works together, that we can also make a difference in the political area. And then, yeah, by the way, We Children just finished our global democratic structure for our project. We have a global board with 14 participants, with 14 representatives in this global board from the 7 continents of this world, with 1 global president and 1 vice president, which is elected every year, with no re-election possible in this global board. And then we thought we had to bring this to the UN, and we brought it to the UN in different ways. For example, at the climate conferences. Last year, at the COP16 conference in Cancun. And we will bring it to Durban, the COP17 conference, the end of this year. And we brought it to the Biodiversity Conference last year, and to the UN General Assembly. Our Vice President, Yugratna, from India, spoke at the General Assembly 2 years ago. Now I got to speak there at the beginning of this year. And furthermore, we thought we had to get the national parliaments involved, the ones that make the laws. For example, in Mexico, we were the first non-parliamentarians to speak in the parliament of one state of Mexico City. And the children from Mexico are invited to speak in the Senate of Mexico City later this year. And we're bringing this to as many areas as possible. We're making partnerships with companies to work together, and we're trying to make partnerships with complete business sectors, that one whole sector can support us in the fight for our future. For example, we're just trying to do this with the chocolate sector, with our favorite chocolate sector. So I want to thank the foundation for helping us organize our first academy here in Spain. At the end, tomorrow, I think the academy is going to happen tomorrow, here with nearly 100 participants. And I want to tell you about this idea that here in Spain, we could start the biggest planting activity Spain has ever had, with all the youth that are on the streets right now. If we all work together, then we can involve all of them to be part of a huge planting project all over Spain, because Spain really needs a lot of more trees. And to end, I want to show you our campaign, Stop Talking, Start Planting. To do that, I would need a volunteer. Who would like to come on stage to volunteer? This is our campaign, Stop Talking, Start Planting.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So thank you again to the foundation for organizing this event.